Well, hello sweet beings. This is a Galactic Mayan Astrology report for the 28th of December 2020. So we have moved through the Great Conjunction, we have had the solstice. If you celebrate Christmas, you've also done that too. And now we land in the second Wavespell of our 9-month spin. And the energy that we are moving into is the energy of White Wizard. Now, White Wizard is also very significant for us as a planet because within Mayan astrology we have this 9-month cycle, we have this 13 moon month cycle, which is the yearly cycle, and then we also have our 13-year cycles. There's many more larger cycles that go on, but they're the ones that I focus on when I am bringing through channeling. So the 13-year cycles, we have our own personal 13-year cycle. And if you want to know more about your own Mayan astrology and, you know, your grander cycles, get in touch for a reading. But we also have a planetary 13-year cycle. So like the planetary birthday is on the 26th of July, which is why we have the new year in Mayan astrology terms on the 26th of July. So the 13-year cycle that we are currently journeying as a planetary body is the energy of White Wizard. So we began in 2019 in the energy of White Wizard, and within that, like with the wave spells, you know, we're within a wave spell that starts with a certain sign, but then each day is a different sign held within the energy of the first sign. It's the same thing with the 13-year cycle. So this second year is the energy of Blue Lunar Storm, hence everything going cray and us having our initiation, because that's really what Blue Storm and especially the lunar tone is all about, which is the second day or year respectively. So the energy of this particular 13-day process is reflective of the grander 13-year cycle that we have now begun. So the energy of White Wizard, okay, so it's white, so that means that it's about refinement. The white signs are about getting clear, they're about really fine-tuning everything to get online, to get clarity, to bring something into focus. To refine is to bring into focus. And White Wizard in particular is the energy of the medicine man, the medicine woman, the shaman that we all are, that the human being is. And in order to access those aspects of who we are, we have to have the dark night of the soul. We have to have the process that we have to break through and integrate from in order to receive and access our power. So within this 13-day process, we're going to be having a microcosmic experience of the grander cycle, which is all about really turning the human being on, you know, the human being that embodies the ability to connect with spirit and to channel and to traverse and connect with worlds within worlds, as opposed to just this, you know, the common term for it is like the 3D reality. The White Wizard and the shaman is able to access multidimensional reality from within the physical form. So within this 13-day process, the guidance really is to stay tuned for your initiation, create space for shamanic embodiment. I've just completed another amazing dance event, and I know that this is going to be something that I'm sharing regularly, so there will be another ecstatic dance event during this wave spell. So either connect with me on Facebook or keep an eye out, because I'll probably post a video about it. But within this journey, it's really an opportunity for us to embody our shamanic self as opposed to checking out. And this is the shadow of the White Wizard energy, the challenge of the White Wizard energy. How do we, we might be super duper psychic and we might have these incredible experiences out of our bodies, or we might be able to connect so deeply with other people when we're not in our bodies, or we might, how do we then integrate all of that into our present human being self? Now, the other aspect of this is, how do we allow ourselves to be seen within this? How do we show up and allow ourselves to be witnessed in our true shamanic form, where we are in reverence, essentially? And the thing that I really noticed, that I've really been noticing of late, is that, you know, what we are collectively talking about all the time and feeding becomes our reality. And there is a very, very strong narrative at the moment on the global stage. There's a very, very strong counter narrative on the global stage, both based very much in fear. So how do we come back into the organic narrative, the space of, okay, I'm a human being, and that means that I'm connected to the earth, and really journeying with that earth energy, really creating the space for ceremony where we offer ourselves in service, where we connect consciously with the energy of the planet. And how do we integrate the visions, and how do we access them while still in our bodies? How do we get there through here, as opposed to taking something that takes us out of our bodies? How do we access whilst we're within the human being vessel? Now, the other aspect that I briefly mentioned is, you know, the initiation of the shaman, the initiation of our true selves. You know, it's about being able to perform alchemy. It's about being able to utilize the shadow, love the shadow, embrace the shadow, because it is where our power is, you know. And how do we, the thing that came through a reading that I did a few days ago was around, you know, this thing of self-discipline, and self-discipline being motivated through shame in the old way of being. So how do we motivate ourselves through love to be disciplined? And that is really that's the transformation of the shadow, isn't it? So this thing of having self-discipline and embodying, you know, masculine energy is something that we all want. But in order to access that, you know, we can access it through the corrupted path of shame, or we can access it through the loving path. But the transformation is always really, I believe, about the transformation of shame. And as we do that, we then create greater space to embody. But that's not to say that we're not gonna always go through these experiences of being broken open. You know, there is nowhere that we're getting to. Every death brings us to life a little bit more, but we're always going to continue to die, and so it should be. You know, what is suitable for the planet? You know, the consciousness is rising, you know, the vibrational consciousness is rising. So if we get to a certain place and plateau, and you know, we decide that we want to stay there, we're not going to be able to. So we have to die again in that form, even though that felt like a really elevated version of ourselves, or a really conscious version of ourselves. We have to continue to die in order to continue to rise or descend, depending on how you want to look at it, to descend deeper into self. I personally prefer, you know, with this embodiment practice, to imagine the descent, because the descent for me takes me deeper into my body and into the earth. So the awakening is actually a descent into self, and from that descended place we are then in and able to access from embodiment. So also within, you know, the wizard, and the shaman, you know, there's an energy of the medicine that comes from the transformation of our challenge and of our wound. And that's not to say that we are here to ram ideologies down one another's throats. We're not here to shame one another. And again, it's this shame piece, you know, on either side of the different arguments that are going on. There's so much shaming, so much humiliation, you know, it's toxic. And we are not here to wake anybody up. We're not here to spread the word. We're not here to stand up and be like, you've got it wrong, you idiot. That's not what the energy is about. A lot of the time, the people that are opposing that in the systematic sense are embodying it in a personal sense, you know, through their mission to wake people up. It's the same shaming toxicity that becomes embodied. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody has access to the internet now. Everybody has the opportunity, and yes, there is privilege that really plays out within our ability to dive in. You know, privilege is a really crucial force that is dismantling. It's beginning to dismantle. So if we have any kind of responsibility in order to support people to wake up, it's really about just checking our privilege, recognizing that a lot of the time, you know, this desire to go and wake others up is that patriarchal notion that we're wanting to move out of. So it's really this space of, you know, how do we all influence one another? And you showing up with your medicine is an absolute gift, but it doesn't elevate you from anybody else. They've got their medicine. You know, so within this space as well, and I think it's so crucial, you know, for this spiritual journey to recognise we are in circle. It's not that we awaken and we are above or more superior to, it's that we allow our medicine to come forth from the transformation of our pain, and we share that whilst also receiving the medicine from everybody else. And people have to consent. You know, for us to be running around and telling people what to do is that same energy that we're ready to shift now. You know, it's really about the age of consent. It's really about the energy of being sovereign, and sovereign also, a big part of that is about consent. You know, so yes, share what you want to share, but give people the opportunity to say yes or no. You know, give yourself, set it up so that you can really shine, but it's invitational as to whether the other person wants to receive that or not. So also within this wave spell, we're really going to be given the opportunity to access spirit at greater and greater levels. So expect upgrades, expect downloads, and create the space, you know, in sacred space to be able to access. You know, create the doorways that you need to create in order to receive the downloads that really want to come through you. So I hope that you have a wonderful wave spell, and I send you so much love, and keep an eye out for, because I'll probably be doing another channeled reading with the cards. So have a look on that, because that will give you the information about the next ecstatic dance. It would be wonderful for you to join us, because it is absolutely beautiful to be dancing with people. Alright, sweethearts, so much love.